And we are live, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the latest episode of the Sling'N Lead podcast. As always, I'm TJ.
And I'm Ken.
And joining us tonight, probably the perfect guest for tonight's topic, the one and only John Willis. John, welcome to the show.
Hey, friends. Thank you for having me.
And John, just for the sake of those watching and those that might be listening, please take a moment to introduce yourself and explain to the people who the hell you are.
Who the hell I am is Jonathan Willis. I am the lead trauma and shotgun instructor with Gunset Training Group. I'm also the lead shotgun instructor for the Tactical Defense Institute in Southern Ohio. As to the topic of the day, I'm a 26-year paramedic, and at least, 23 years of those, I've been a paramedic instructor. I was a 20-year firefighter, most of those a lieutenant in the Dayton area of Ohio. And I teach a program called Real World Trauma all around the country and enjoy that a great deal. It's a program through which I empower everyday civilians, law enforcement, everyday citizens in the response to everyday emergencies that they may encounter in the day-to-day, hence the name Real World Trauma.
I love it. I love it. I'm so glad to have you here, buddy. For the folks at home, Kent and I, as well as of a lot of our inner circle, John is part of that inner circle. We're very proud to consider him a friend. We always love getting to see you when we're at TAC On together, buddy. And really looking forward to the topic for tonight. So for those of you that have been listening to the podcast for any modicum of time, you'll hear us say frequently, if you're going to carry a gun, you should carry trauma equipment. And if you're not going to carry a gun, you should still carry trauma equipment. So who better to bring on to the show to talk about trauma equipment than the one and only John Willis? So this is going to be great. So first things first, Kent, how are you, buddy?
Man, I'm doing just fine. Doing the teaching, doing the dadding, doing the husbanding, doing all the things. I am exceedingly busy, and if you folks would like to train with Green Mountain Defense this year, you should probably get on the website now because we are growing stupidly, and I can't control it, and I need help. So that's pretty cool. It's really cool to be that busy. As far as tonight's topic, I'm gonna kind of foundation this just a little bit and say that, like, John has done a very good job of practicalizing all this stuff. For the longest, we've heard preaching about carrying trauma kits and carrying med gear and taking trauma classes and doing all the things. And then a guy will get up in front of you and he's got a fucking Maxpedition bag that's the size of, well, I don't know, like something like this here, right? I'm supposed to, take that to Starbucks for some godforsaken reason. Not that I go to a Starbucks, but there was never any practicality to the medical stuff. And I live the life and I carry the things and I do what the smart guys tell me. I have a truck full of this shit and I run a gun training company, right? So if I want to carry that big stupid son of a bitch, I can, honestly, and the world won't bother me much about it. But John's done a really good job in bringing curriculum and medical gear to folks like yourselves, i.e. the normal folk. We had him come out here just shy of 8-9 months ago, and he did real world trauma for our folks. And then he did a private thing for our cadre, and he lit a fire under our ass. And now we're teaching our own MEG program because we got a guy who's qualified to do it too. And it's kind of really sparked a new avenue for GMD and our clientele and our customers. And we have him to thank for that. So given that, we figured we'd bring him on the podcast and talk about some shit because he's got some product development he's doing now. He's got some curriculum. He's going to be kind of a regular, routinely hosted person for us. And now he's starting to take his show on the road a little bit and getting out and getting to a bunch of different places. So anytime somebody has that opportunity to grow like that, this is a platform we want to bring them on for. So, John, what do you want to start with, man? Do you want to start with the products? Do you want to start with the training? Do you want, where do you want to begin?
Man, wherever you like, man. It's all such great things. It's been a great last year. Truthfully, the road show has really taken off in a great way. Quite truthfully, in the last couple of years, the road show is really expanded. It's a blessing to truly get to empower folks in a way of understanding has always been my goal. And I've been a trainer now for well over 20 years in several different disciplines. And this has been a discipline that has been particularly a passion of mine. Taking concepts that can be very much academic and very deep dive, advanced concepts, and making them palatable to everyday citizens is very much a passion of mine. And to get to do this at a professional level and have it be embraced by so many people, man, it's just hard to describe what that feels like. So to take that from the classroom and then take that into product development has just been like all of it, man. It's all of it is just such a big thing for me. So talking about all of it is just great. Let's talk about all of it.
Okay, so I'm gonna do the interviewer thing, and y'all realize by now I know the answers to at least 85% of the questions I'm gonna ask him, but I'm gonna pretend that to be peculiarly intrigued, like it's the first time he's ever told me any of this. That being said, where's the first place you taught guns medicine? Obviously, the first place you taught medicine was probably in a firehouse or in a right.
You mean on the gun side or on the trauma side?
Let's go gun side. Where did you first teach guns?
Gun side, the first place I taught at the higher professional levels was for a pretty high level, nationally recognized instructor as an AI. I was doing that in the long about 2009 through 2012 or so. I did that for a while, and then on the road show, supporting that. And then I kind of pulled away from that for a while as I was starting my personal professional business, meaning my home business, which is my day-to-day 9 to 5, the real estate business at home. That was the initial gun thing. I came back into that world in kind of the late teens of the 2000s, and that was when I joined Gunset and then subsequently Tactical Defense Institute, and really developed in the shotgun world and so on and so forth there. Trauma-wise, I became I came up as a firefighter pretty quickly and got some rank. And my chief, as soon as I made a little bit of rank, he was like, "You're going to become a paramedic instructor and a fire academy instructor." So all of these things kind of happened in conjunction, and it was a requirement of my job, but I fell in love with it. I really enjoyed teaching paramedicine, even though I never wanted to be a paramedic. When they told me to be a firefighter, I had to become a paramedic, I was like, oh my God, screw that. This sucks. I didn't want to have any part of that. I ended up loving it, man. I enjoyed becoming a paramedic so much, and then getting to do that. My career as a firefighter, paramedic, and eventually a fire lieutenant, that got me into the realm of teaching paramedicine, fire academy, and then all aspects of technical rescue. And that's the jumping off point of everything I became as an instructor, man. that's my world as an educator now for over 20 years.
So these days you're teaching for a nationally recognized, world famous organization, otherwise known as Gunset, and then also some little podunk range place in Ohio called TDI.
Yeah, a little place like that. Yeah.
See what I did there? You guys like that?
Yeah.
No. So for my the podcast listeners, predominantly either Green Mountain Defense students or like national training junkie folks. For the GMD home team students, TDI in Ohio is sort of, I don't know. Let's see. We'll go with Thunder Ranch, TDI, SIG Academy, and Gunsight.
Yeah.
Are sort of like four corners of, if you're going to get on a plane and fly to a gun school, you should go to one of those four. If I'm missing somebody, like a physical institution, I mean, as opposed to an individual trainer.
Yeah, TDI is a special place. That's literally where I first took up the gun in formal training under the leadership of our late dear friend and mentor, John Benner, who we lost in August. A dear friend and mentor to me and so many others. We love John. We lost him in August. He was the leader and friend and mentor to so many of today's greats. I mean, you ask around, and John was so much to so many. And to get to be a part of that institution is, gosh, man, that's a hard thing to really get my head around. I teach beside, and I teach with some great people, and at that facility, man, it is a dream to teach at that location. It's just a teaching experience and a training experience like that is hard to describe. It's different than a square range single class facility. It's a totally different experience. Yeah.
Can I take a stab?
Go ahead, by all means.
Teaching at TDI must sort of be like, pick your favorite football team and you're on the coaching staff.
Yeah.
That's
man.
Like that's, to see one of your peers attain something like that. Like my hat's fucking off to you, dude. That's such a cool thing. You know?
I'm humbled and I'm blessed to get it. When John and the leadership staff of TDI tapped me to lead the shotgun program, I was just like, whoa, wait, it was a lot for me. A huge honor for me was that Mr. Benner, the last class that he saw happen was the first class that I ran lead on. And that was, and 2 days later he passed, and I was blessed to be with him in his final days. And my gosh, man, a very powerful and special experience that was. But man, yeah, that place, that's some hallowed ground, dude. That's something. Yeah. And I'll actually be taking real world trauma there in December.
Very cool.
Yes.
Yeah, we've got links posted in the chat here, not only for our friends at Gunset, but also for TDI, TDIOhio.com. So for those of you that may be unfamiliar with John Benner, he also was the original developer and designer behind the K-Bar TDI knife.
Yeah.
That came out for, close quarters, law enforcement, combatives type stuff. Great knife. Actually, I used to have one a long time ago.
Yeah. At his celebration of life, we were all given, John had a habit of giving people he cared about his knife. And at his celebration of life, with two things, we all had a final toast of a bottle that he had reserved for us, and had a final toast of his, and he gave us all a final TDI knife of his. And like, man, powerful stuff,
Yeah.
That's really
very
cool.
much so.
So
Yeah.
now while we're at it, because we talk about TDI for so damn long.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago, we were all sitting around saying how companies like GMD and Apache and Gunset and so many others were the future of the firearms training world. And we are no longer the future. We are the present, right? Like we're the generation that is putting out the information and bringing out the good quality content to the student base. So you kind of get to like straddle both worlds. You're in the like old guard, original gangster kind of thing over there at TDI. And then your other leg is over with the cool kids like Stan and Frank and Bobby and Scotty and Kinsey and them, just like, playing rap music and shooting gats and whatever y'all do. But like, here's another company in Gunset who's just full of awesome humans and putting out awesome content, and you get to lead the medical charge there and shotgun, and you do pistol stuff, and so you're kind of spanning generations as you teach a little bit, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah, ironically, I didn't realize it, but I'm the oldest dude at Gunset. Like, when that happened,
everybody else realized it, but okay.
Yeah, I'm like the last to know. I was like, wait, I'm the old guy. Oh crap. Yeah, geez.
There had to be an adult somewhere.
I guess that's me.
There's 3 adults between these 3 companies: Teresa Kelly, Sophia Hauer, and you.
Yeah, apparently it's got to be me. Yeah,
it's got to be.
Technically, I'm the oldest, but Kinsey's the adult. Kinsey's the adult. I'm the oldest. So at Gunset, we have to quantify the roles. I'm the oldest. Mike Kinsey is the adult in the room. So,
oh my Kinsey, I'm on the scoreboard. I'm on the school board. I go to church and stuff.
He owns a suit. I don't own a suit. Yeah.
Yeah.
That certainly tracks.
Right. I know my place.
So, real world trauma had an interesting effect here at Green Mountain Defense. There were 16, 17 people at that class. All off the top of my head.
I think that was what we thought it was, and it ended up being 23.
Sure. That's right. That sounds about right. What? I'm going to say most of them re-upped on private lesson packages.
Good.
With us, and then most of them also wanted more medical information, which sort of led to Hatterer from my team becoming the junior U. So Dan's now teaching medicine on our end, and him and I have done a couple, traumatic medical fundamentals classes where we kind of prime people for this sort of thing under his leadership. But then people who were in pistol shoot 'em up private lessons started asking for a couple of their hours, because we sell the private lesson packages by the 10 or 20 hours and blah, 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 blah. All those people started saying, hey, can we get like 2 or 4 or 6 of those hours to be med? Like, can we get some more med? Can we spend some more time on the med part? And I was like, well, sure. Just fucking fire me already. Here's Dan. You can have Dan. Like, which is pretty cool, right? So it kind of sparked a little bit more of an interest at our facility. And I'll give you guys a quick AAR on it. The simplest, quickest AAR I could give is just, it was super, super, super applicable to real people. I think that's the thing. Like, you guys saw, maybe you didn't. Go dig through the interwebs. You'll find the big write-up I did on it. But short version, like, that was for my mom and for your uncle and for it was for people. It wasn't for a med class for the range. It wasn't a med class for cops or a med class for soldiers or a med class for snipers or something. Like, we spent time cutting people out of seatbelts and breaking auto glass and fucking like shit that people will do, like real humans. And I thought the way you presented it was as rep heavy, to the point where we've tried to replicate that in our stuff, as rep heavy as it could be for a med class. Some med classes got real in my past have gotten real death by PowerPointy and real academic-y, and you refrain from that stuff. And we're really good curators of content for sure. But most of the people that took that class have been, when I tell them like, hey, you should come take this guy's class, right? And they're into their 4th or 5th or 6th national trainers class that they've taken that we've brought in. And they kind of like, they're like, God damn, that was good. That's that's a good product endorsement.
Yeah, that means a lot. You know, the point, a real focus for me in real world trauma is that I'm trying to open a door to our community at large. I'm not just trying to be another class that more people like us come to. You know, and TJ, your son will tell you, because your son came to us in Pennsylvania. You sent your boy to us in Pennsylvania, and he came to us, and that meant a lot to me. That's an incredible gesture of trust that you put into me. And the thing for me about real world trauma is that I intentionally make this a class that if a person who hated guns, if a person who resented the fact that we were gun carrying, firearm encouraging, firearm training individuals, if they resented that, but they came to my class, they would still feel welcomed and 100% be into the content, be empowered, and feel welcomed and feel part of the experience throughout the day, and then walk away from that experience at the end of the day. That to me is part of the whole point.
I'm sorry, but you didn't have her, but you had her husband in that class. And he went home and he told her about his experience, and she came to our next one, and now she's on the range.
Boom. Yeah. You see, if that's, I don't have ulterior motives in the sense that, I'm trying to get someone, but if we show, or if I can represent our community by saying, I just want you to be empowered. I just want you to be able to save your own life or save the life of a loved one or someone out there. And I don't care if you adopt an armed lifestyle. I don't care. I just want you to adopt an empowered lifestyle. And I want you to save a life where a life would have otherwise been lost. And hey, there's our guy. I want to welcome everyone into this class. That means the world to me. That's why you saw there's not a lot of content in my class wherein the trauma is born from interpersonal violence. The traumas represented in my class are born from day-to-day experiences, car crashes, around the home accidents, things that happen in the day-to-day world that aren't born out of interpersonal human aggression or violence. I want to welcome these people into our world. And if these people know that I'm a firearms instructor as well, and they see this content presented in an intelligent and professional manner, and they know that this is part of the duality of my life, they'll see that, like, hey, Frank and Green Mountain Defense and TJ and all these people are probably of the same mindset. They're not all a bunch of hyper aggressive, scary, gun-toting nutbags. They're professional, welcoming, kind, considerate human beings, and they'll end up on the range. So that can be a secondary positive.
Oh, it worked out great for their family because they as things often are, right? Like, it's super important to him because they're becoming parents and they're starting a family and all this stuff. And he's of like mind of all four of us now that are sitting here. This guy is, and his spouse was not on the train at all, to the point where he wasn't, like, she kind of was like, "What the hell did you do at the range this weekend?" kind of thing, right? Yeah. And he's like, went to a med class. And, like, you know, it's just one of those deals. And I've taught her 6 private lessons now.
That's beautiful, dude.
And it's like she might as well be like peering around the door frame, like looking like, who's this fucking guy gonna be? And of course she's got to deal with me, right? I'm like, hi, you know, and she's all timid and all whatever. But then as she's interacting, that's exactly like, you just did her talk track for her. She's like, I thought you guys were a bunch of fucking nutbags. I'm like, oh, we are. There's just
two things can be true at once.
Yeah. You know, like, there's just still some level of chivalry and common sense and professionalism and whatever else that you may not have attributed to people from our culture. And the problem is, the representatives of our culture in your space are not representatives of our culture. Every time there's a tornado, they go to a trailer park and find a guy with 3 teeth to talk about it. Every time it's time to talk about guns, they go out and find, you know, rootin', tootin', shootin', bootin', scootin' guy who can't fucking hold a gun to save his life, and he's got suspenders on with no t-shirt and one thing's falling off his shoulder. And, like, that's our representative. And he ain't. He's 2 IT professionals, a real estate investor, and a wannabe college professor. Like, that's who the guy actually is, right? Like, as opposed to who you might think. Speaking of IT professionals, somebody hacked our fucking stream.
I don't know about all that, but yeah, hey, I'm here. No, so
I for sure didn't just give him a link.
No, not at all.
No.
It doesn't work that way. But TJ's over there fuming. No, so
nope. Kent just doesn't know how to read the do not share versus the share.
So I wanted to hop on here real quick because, you know, I have a testimony specifically to John Willis's real world trauma course. Not on my behalf, but on the behalf of somebody that had taken a course that I just kind of helped organize and set up. So a couple years ago, my church, I got talking about, you know, security teams and things like that, stuff at the church. So I had organized that the church helped pay for bringing John Willis down to North Carolina. And we had a group of vast, very diverse backgrounds. We had little old ladies. We had leadership that were in the church. We had, you know, just kind of a mixed bag, all different backgrounds. And one gentleman in particular that was going to that church, he had told me after the fact that the only reason he came to the course was to support me. He had no interest, could care less, had, you know, it was just one of the things where he wanted to come just to support something that I was trying to put on at the church. And then after the fact, you know, he came up, he was like, I had so much fun. I learned so much. You know, he was able to walk away from that particular course with a tourniquet, you know, a cat tourniquet. And it was just, you know, just all this new information, you know, learn about, you know, how to do CPR. That particular class was one of John's earlier real world trauma courses. And it's evolved quite a bit since then. But the root of the content was, you know, pretty much the same as what it is today. And he had taken that tourniquet and he threw it in his car. And that's where that tourniquet lived, right? So he didn't fully adopt, you know, the whole, you know, medical mindset necessarily, but he at least had the tools and a little bit of a know-how to how to respond to something if something were to happen. He had a better appreciation for it. Fast forward, I don't know, what was it? Probably 9 months or something like that, 8-9 months. This guy was his son was working. So his son had a landscaping business. And his son had his feet up underneath the back of one of his landscaping trailers, working on something back of one of his trucks. And the jack stand had come loose underneath the truck, and it like smashed his son's leg. And he heard his son hollering. He ran over there. He saw blood, and the first thing that he did was he ran and grabbed the tourniquet out of his car. And whether or not he needed to or not, that's beside the point. But the point of the fact is he knew how to apply a tourniquet. He knew like he needed to go ahead and get this on like right then and right there. And, you know, as far as we know, that was a skill that was directly taught by John. He had zero interest in taking that course in the first place. And then he was able to take a skill that he had learned months prior, right, and apply it into an event where he felt in the moment that that's what it needed. That's what he needed to do. And he's telling me, you know, this gentleman was telling me this again after the fact, and he's just like glowing with, I am so thankful that you guys came. I'm so thankful that you organized that. Thank you so much. Like he was just, you know, saying all these things. And like that just goes to show, like, you know, we don't know the reach that we're going to have teaching this content. Like we have no idea. You know, we don't know that, you know, we all talk about how, med can save your life or med can save somebody else's life. But, you know, God forbid we ever have to do it. But if we ever needed to arise to that occasion, you know, John's out there teaching people, you know, who maybe in the moment have no care, no interest in the world. They're taking it just for somebody, you know, for somebody else's sake, but it can actually help them or help somebody else that they love at the end of the day. So I cannot, like John will tell you, I am constantly trying to push his course to people. Like I'm like, you need to take this course. You need to take this course. You know, just a few days ago, I was talking to another, a local organization who's looking at putting together some security stuff. And I was like, you guys need some ed, like 100%. Like, I know the guy, he's here local. We can get him in here. We can do something. So, I mean, I was pushing it really hard because seriously, like it is some of the best content, the best delivery of the content that I've ever witnessed, personally. Like it's really squared away stuff. So yeah. And going back to say that again, at the time, you know, John had come to me and says, you know, I can change my content just a little bit. You know, some of it, at least on the early days could be, you know, a little graphic. I was like, nope, just roll with it. It is what it is. You know, it'll be fine. You know, and I was a little concerned about, I think John was too, a little concerned about some of the older demographic that was in that particular course. And they were the ones who were eating it up. Were they not, John? They were.
Yeah, they got into it. Yeah,
they got really into it. Yeah, I mean, you're talking, you showing like a video of a trach, you know, being done. John's literally talking about, you know, in that particular example, like some keys and things like that. And then I'm thinking, like, I'm like glancing over here at these like 90-year-old ladies, and they're like glued to it. They're like they're in it to win it, man. They're all ready. So
it's the generations that's used to watching surgery on public broadcast television.
Yeah, no joke. I mean, they were lock and step, were they not? I mean, it was such a cool experience.
Yeah, this is an example of the goal of everything. The goal of all of this is if one person does one thing that moves an emergency towards a positive outcome, like that's the juice. That's the entirety of the goal of what I do. Statistically, this is a higher probability than most of what it is we get to teach. I'm just one of the few people in our segment that has a background from which I get to teach this. And thus, I see it as my responsibility to do this work. We have our specialty in the gun realm. Like some guys are the pistol guys, some guys are the shotgun guys, some guys are the rifle guys, or some guys span those gaps. I'm one of the few people who have a serious trauma and medical background, and I enjoy the work. I'm very passionate about the content, and within our community, and reaching out to to Gen Pop. I see it as an outreach program as well as an empowerment program, and to hear that someone did something that may have kept someone on this earth to enjoy the world we live in, that means the world to me. And TJ's son being an example. TJ, was your boy 15 when he came to me? I think he was 15.
No, 16. No,
16.
He was 15. He had just turned 16 like the month after I got there.
So TJ's boy was 15 when he came to me. Frank and my friend at Gunset, Lon Etchison, a great writer here from Ohio, a great trainer with Gunset Tactical Defense Institute and in law enforcement here in Ohio. His daughter came to me at 15 years old. John Model of Tactical Defense Institute, general manager, and now co-owner, his daughter came to me at 15 years old. These young soon to be or late teenagers about to be adults are being exposed to this content. So if they go out into the world and maybe save one of their peers, my God, how much would that be a great thing?
No.
This is my juice, man. And if we can get people to see the importance of carrying this shit on their person, not just in their car, not just in their backpack or whatever, carry your shit on your person. We just saw that some dude got randomly freaking stabbed, not at SHOT Show, in a casino that happened to be, like adjacent to SHOT Show, but a guy just got freaking stabbed, and somebody there was carrying their shit and put a tourniquet on dude. Have your shit on your person affect a positive outcome. Like, what could be more gratifying than that? My man, Frank, look at that. Woo!
Look at that. Twinsies.
Yeah. Twinsies. Almost like you roll with your boy.
I'm here too. I have
You
it in my
are.
back pocket.
My man.
Yeah.
My flat pack's out of reach.
Yeah. I don't
Rub some
have
dirt on it.
I don't have the cool thing to put this in, but I got you see this? He did that.
That's
for
okay.
me.
That's good work. That's
Yeah.
good work.
Well,
You're
you
doing
did
good.
it. No, you did
That's-
it. I just stuffed it in my butt.
That's
cheek.
good. That's good
Yeah.
work.
Yeah. Yeah. DJ,
Yeah,
you're
boy.
gonna die.
I'm from Tennessee. We
Nah.
pack that shit with wet mud.
His son will take care of him because I gave his son a trauma kit.
No, TJ's got plenty of trauma kits. We're just-
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at mine right now. Like, we're fine.
Yeah. His boy will come running and he'll take care.
As soon as he finishes whatever video game he's playing right now.
Yeah, he's got headphones on. He won't hear shit.
No, he won't.
Yeah.
It is fun hearing renditions of Ron Burgundy just emanating from his bedroom.
Oh, yeah.
So
That's awesome.
What? Wait.
Yeah,
Podcast stop.
yeah.
What?
just
What?
when
What?
James gets older and he's playing video games, you will understand. I do not want to rob you of the first experience where it actually terrifies the shit out of you that your son may be possessed by demons.
Oh.
Hold up. His son's gonna be homeschooled. Completely different.
Yeah.
Completely different exposure.
James is homeschooled.
Mine was homeschooled for a while too. I'm convinced that's where the addiction to video games came from. Nah, he's a good kid. He really is. And no, look, it honestly for the folks at home, like, it's a realization that you have to have if you haven't had one yet. Like, when my son was getting old enough to babysit his kid sister, before I allowed that to happen, he had to go to at least a Red Cross class, AED, CPR, all that stuff. First aid, basic certification. We obviously have med kits in the house. We've got a dechoker upstairs as well. And as he was getting closer to getting behind the wheel of a vehicle for himself, I was like, hey, dude, I need you to get higher level medical training. I know it's not, I am fortunate, though, to be fair, it's something he's naturally interested in. He wants to go into the medical field. He's looking at becoming an RN, working in ERs. Like that is a passion of his at early on in life. And quite frankly, even if he doesn't follow that career path, because let's be clear, I'm pretty sure that every one of us at 15 wanted to be something. And between then and now, we wanted to be 13 different other things, right? It happens. But I was like, hey, look, man, my boy John, he's coming over to Uncle Kent's house. He's going to be teaching a med class. I'm sending you up there. It was his first time on a plane by himself, right? Sent him all the way up from Tennessee to the great state of Pennsylvania to go get some world-class trauma training from our dear friend John Willis, right? And folks, you've heard Kent and I say it before. We do not have people on this podcast that we would not send our family members to. We eat our own damn dog food.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
That was a hell of a weekend for him. That was his first time on a plane. It was his first time with like seriously aggressive trauma training.
Mm-hmm.
I took him up to the gun club, and
he loved it too. By the way, he was aside from having the flu, he had a great time.
He had he got sick, dying.
He got sick as shit.
He was dying the whole fucking time. He's trying to die. And I took him up to the gun club and taught him to drive a pickup truck on gun range roads.
Mm-hmm.
That was a hell of a weekend for that young man. And it was his first strip club and his first STD test. So a lot of good stuff happened.
Look, you get rotted off the range once.
That's all it takes. You got an education, sounds like.
We figured out he's not a whiskey guy.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, we did.
He's immediately disowned. So,
no, he was such an adult. We tried to corrupt him. We were like, hey, you want to do bad stuff? And he's like, my dad will get on a plane and kill every one of us individually. Like, come on, bro. He'll be fine. And he's like, dude, I fear my father. I'm like, oh, man, I got to fucking work on that.
Fear, respect. Like I said earlier, two things can be true at once. Although it does make a lot of sense because when I was actually teaching him to drive, he had a hard time staying between the lines. So I am absolutely sure that, Kent, you taught him how to drive.
That's my road. I'll do with it what I please, and my wheels are the correct place on it at every time. I take my half out of the middle.
I am going one way, my way.
Yeah.
So
all right. Now that we've talked about training just a touch, let's talk about products. So John has put together some cool little portable goodness in this RWT, this little mini kit he's got, this little pocket kit. We've got the link scrolling across to it right now. John, like, where did this spawn from? What was your idea behind this?
So this had been in my head, bounced around in my head for a little while, and it really came from what I thought I needed. I wanted to get people beyond the mindset of just carry a tourniquet, because I saw so many people with the flawed idea of just carry a tourniquet. People are always saying, carry your tourniquet. And I'm like, no, you don't just carry a tourniquet. And I just wrote an article about your tourniquet is not a system. And my God, every time I write something, more people hate me. Hey, whatever it is. I got great doctors. Every time I write something, they're like, do it, full send. And I'm okay. As long as they're in my corner, and then I'm good to go. So my whole point was, what would I want to carry? And I was telling you guys before we went live, another company dropped another pocket kit yesterday. And I saw it on the interwebs yesterday, social media yesterday. And it was a very convenient 7.5 inches by 5.5 inches by 2.5 inches thick, which is almost this. This is my field kit. I developed what I felt I wanted to carry in conjunction with my preferred tourniquet. You guys know my preferred tourniquet. My preferred tourniquet.
Hold on 1 second, because you were just showing a good visual there, and I want to help you with this. Most of this is going to be mostly audio after all. So John just held up in his left hand a little pouch like I've got.
Yes.
And in my right hand, I've got an iPhone 14 Pro Max.
Mm-hmm.
And my iPhone 14 Pro Max is 2 inches taller and almost as thick. So his pocket kit is the size of a wallet.
My pocket kit is exactly 5 inches high. It is 5 inches high by 4.5 inches wide by 1 inch thick. So it is truly a pocket kit. And in this kit, it has a Beacon non-vented chest seal, the North American Rescue wound packing gauze with radio opaque ribbon, and an S-mark bandage. So with these 3 tools in this convenient kit, carried in conjunction with my cat tourniquet, I'm able to effect a extremity hemorrhage, a junctional hemorrhage, a chest seal, and because it's a non-vented hemorrhage, I can also use it as an occlusive dressing for, say, a neck wound or a wound where I want an occlusive dressing, not just a vented chest seal. I just wrote about the non-importance of vented chest seals and some other things. So I'm able to improvise a lot from this basic kit. But the whole point was I created the kit that I wanted to carry. Then came the refinement of the pouch. I had to actually go to a company and have the pouch I wanted made. Thank you for that visual. I had to find the kit, or I had to actually have the pouch made, and then make it truly a kit that could be carried in your pocket. Then I sent it out to some of my friends like Ella Fritz, Sherman House, Andy Anderson, Troy Miller, Shane Kerwin, a lot of people I sent this out to get it into people's hands, to get a lot of feedback by the end user, by a knowledgeable end user. And that's been very, very positive. So that was the whole point in the Real World Trauma Pocket Kit. It was for the first time, a kit that was called a pocket kit that was actually a pocket kit. Because I tried all of them, and I was like, none of these are freaking pocket kits, man. People keep saying pocket kit, but I get it. And the only way it was a pocket kit was if you wore combat pants, like cargo pants or some shit, every day of your life. That's the only way it was a pocket kit. No offense, Frank.
No offense not taken.
Frank wears the same 3 pair of 511 pants every time I see him his whole life.
Yeah.
It's not the same 3. Ask my wife. I have like stock in those same 511 pants.
It's a typical dude response, right? You find a pair of pants you like, you buy 15 of them.
Or 50, but yeah, I'm with you.
If you look at that, I mean, that's the kit, and we pulled it off, man. We made it happen. And that's been the feedback. Sherman just wrote a great article about it. The feedback has been terrific. Jim Shanahan wrote about it pretty generously. I'm humbled by the response that's been. It's been pretty well received across the country. I'm thrilled with it. Ella Fritz got it really, really early, and his response was terrific too.
And now John has his awesome new bag.
Oh, yeah, there's that. So, if I might, most people who'd been to my class knew that I was about the public access individual kit from North American Rescue. Kent, you'd seen it. Frank, you'd seen it. TJ, you knew I did this. This is the intermediate level kit. what I had found
I think
was,
that's what Wyatt brought home with him too.
yeah, I gave him one of these.
Yeah.
So what I had noticed was that, yes, in the immediate sense, you have these tear-off points and everything like that, but I wanted to create a kit that this is my intended personal carry on-body everyday kit. So I wanted to create a next level kit based on this that was a true value proposition that covered everything that I wanted people to master out of real world trauma. So it includes everything that's in this kit in a proper in a proper little pouch. Also, I take the tourniquet out of it and I flat pack it properly. So this is the RWT field kit that is it's set up as a smaller version of exactly how I set up my truck kit. So this is the RWT field kit, and this is what I've built for the person who wants their kit to be like hit the ground running, kit that they don't have to think about. They have a understanding of trauma skills, and they want a kit that they can just trust and know they're ready to go to work with. So this is the kit that's based off of that kit that I pack every one of them, and it has the flat pack cat tourniquet, and I've set this up in the order of priority of care. So hemorrhage control over here. On this side, trauma shears, gloves, marker, and then behind here is chest seals, thermal blanket, and then in it, I also have a Rescue Me tool for breaking and taking glass pressed into service. If you lose your shears, you can cut shirts and things like this. So this has everything that I encourage a person to have from the real world trauma class, and that is this kit. Scotty, Frank, and my boy from Gunset, he was like, when I designed this, he said it has to have a place for patches. So, of course, it has a place for your Gunset patch when you take real world trauma. So that has a place for it. So we put a place for patches on it and everything like that. But this kit is designed in the way I flat pack the cat tourniquet so that you can add a secondary tourniquet. It has two packs of wound packing gauze, a 6-inch emergency trauma dressing, 2 chest seals, a thermal blanket, and everything you can need. 1 cat tourniquet. A great entry-level start-out kit that has everything that you need for the entire March acronym.
Yeah, so I picked up my kit from John, I don't know, was it a week, maybe 2 weeks ago, something like that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so I went home that night and opened it up with my wife because I had shown her all, the March acronym and, basic trauma and things like that. And I was like, look, check out this kit. Was showing her all different things and how to use certain things in that, certain applications. It's like, this is living in your car. This is now yours, so we had it all set up for her. But it's really a smart system, and it's so convenient, so small, for everything that's in it. I mean, it's
I just
definitely
ordered mine.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's a phenomenal kit. Yeah, it really is, and it's a good looking kit. I think the one I had picked up was OD green, but still, I mean, it's a phenomenal kit.
I really wanted to design a total system where someone could trust the source of how it was thought out. And really, it was all designed for my students. None of this came up to like sell kits. I was actually, I had a company out of West Virginia approach me about carrying the RWT kit in their store. And that was weird to me because I'm not that guy. I'm a freaking trainer who designed this shit for my students and people like us, like me, who just want to be prepared. And they were asking me questions about the kit and all this stuff. And my biggest thing I wanted to impress upon them, I was like, listen, I'm not I'm not selling kits. I was like, I'm a trainer. Like, I'm a trainer who created a kit to help the people I train. So, like, this is not my world. I'm not out there to sell freaking kits. I'm out there to get shit in the hands of the people I train. So if you want this thing, that's cool. My goal is to train people. I don't give a shit about selling someone a kit. I give a shit about getting stuff into the hands of the people I help train.
But what's neat is you can have somebody take a course, and then usually at least in the courses that I've taken from you in the past, you can take North American Rescue. This is a good product. This is a good product. This is a good product. Well, and of course you would have some of those products for sale, but now you have a kit that says, this is how you use this kit, right? This is, and these, multitude of applications. This is how you can use this, in all different ways. And it's really not expensive, like at all. They're really reasonable, for what they are.
That, gentleman, was a big goal of mine. Something that you'll notice when you look at a lot of kits out there, they'll be very brand myopic. Any kit you look at on the market you will see TACMed Solutions, you'll see North American Rescue, you'll see whatever. They will not very often will you see a singular kit that has components from a different company. Like my pocket kit is TACMed Solutions, North American Rescue. I sourced the smallest known components, not caring what company they came from. The goal was get the best shit no matter what company they came from. I don't care. I represent any company that has good stuff. I was telling you guys earlier. And I shit hard on snake staff tourniquets when they first came out, on the Gen 1 snake staff tourniquets, very publicly, very openly. The Gen 2 variants, the Gen 2 offerings from snake staff are a quantum leap of capability and quality. So much so that I now represent snake staff and offer snake staff Gen 2 wide. That's the only one I like. So I don't offer anything but the snake staff Gen 2 wide. I offer what I know works to the people I care about. I don't offer what I don't like. I don't sell what I don't like. I look at what works. I test what I think might work. If I find that it works, that's what I rep. That's it. I don't give a shit about anything else. If it works, I'll back it. If it doesn't, it's dog shit. I'm not interested. But that's my way. You guys know. You guys are all straight shooters. You're the same way, man.
Yeah, I envision a day where the GMD private student, the person who buys like the 20-hour lesson pack or whatever, like shows up, and I just hand them a duffel bag, and they're like, "What's in this?" And I go, "This is all the bullshit you're going to need eventually, and you're going to spend a pile of money on. So at least it came from my friends. God bless you." Right
there, you go. Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, like you're done.
Yeah,
like what gun's in there? I'm like, I don't give a fuck. The gun matters the least of all the things that's in there. Like,
I'm just saving you a bunch of wasted time. Yeah,
right. Like, here's a Filster Enigma. Here's a John Willis med kit.
The money I would have if I didn't waste it all on stupid stuff,
dude.
If you speaking of Filster,
look at this basement full of bullshit. There's fucking, oh my god, there's a whole mortgage. Like, you could own a house for shit that's sitting back here behind me that I never needed.
Speaking of Filster, I want to give a shout out. When I started putting these out, putting out the Real World Trauma Pocket Kit, I want to give a shout out of gratitude. Sarah from Filster. you guys, Kent, you're about Filster Enigma. We all in some form, like all of us in some form or fashion use Filster products, right? Sarah spent a generous amount of her time on the phone with me talking about product development, product release, everything about this, and she didn't have to. Understanding that I'm not a product development guy. I'm not that freaking dude. I'm a trainer. I'm just a dude, right? I'm a trainer. I'm one of us. I don't. This isn't my world, and I got to give something to Sarah and John at Filster for their generous spirit, their generosity to the peers in the community. She didn't have to do that with me, and she really did. And so she helped me to have a better clarity in how to do this. And now this is in more people's pockets. And that means a lot to me, and I think that should be stated.
Yeah, this industry is full of people who could be viewed as each other's competitors, to include you and me and Frank and whatever, who are constantly breaking our backs to help each other.
Yeah,
like this in a way that you don't see sometimes other like. Do other real estate agents like do cartwheels to help you with real estate deals? Probably not. I don't know. You're the kind of guy that you probably do.
I will,
buddy. Yeah. But like, I don't know. You just don't see it very often. And companies in this space have the tendency to be a little more community oriented.
Yeah. I've had some good people step up for me. And I think because they see that I'm trying to help people, Shane Kerwin, Greg Ellifritz, Andy Anderson, Sherman House, you guys, the people who've tried to help me help other people. It's just humbling, and it means the world to me to try to get the word out, man. That's my shit. That's obviously you're all shit. That's what I'm about. That's what you're all about. That's what's up, man.
So,
go ahead. More product stuff.
I was just going to say, like, so in terms of, I was going to ask like a product related question, really, in terms of like real world, real human stuff. Like, I don't know, my mom, right?
Yeah.
What the hell should my mom have? Like, what should the everyday lay person in terms of medical stuff, like, what should they really have?
Freaking CPR training, dude.
Yep. There you go.
Freaking
James
CPR
has choked
training.
fucking 3 times, by the way.
Yeah. Freaking CPR, like all of it, man. 300 and now probably 335,000 people die outside of a clinical environment every year of sudden cardiac arrest. So anybody who's talking about any of this shit who doesn't have quality CPR understanding, your shit's broke. And you two both know more about why I'm saying this than most of the people in the world, because you were freaking there. And Frank, you as well. We can talk all this shit about all this other stuff, but if you aren't ready, willing, and able to administer freaking quality CPR to an individual in need in a sudden cardiac arrest scenario, then your shit's broke. So that is first and foremost in every person's knowledge bank. Forget a freaking kit. All that other bullshit is irrelevant if you don't have quality understanding of CPR standards of the day.
So I'm going to, what John's referring to is an incident that happened at TACCON now coming up, 2 years ago, maybe Is it 3 years? I'm losing track.
It'll be 3 years ago in March.
This year.
Yeah, it'll be 3 years ago. Gentlemen, Apache Solutions. Frank is like one of the founding operators and like the evil Indian Empire out of North Carolina. Those boys down there, they brought him up to TACON. It's Gentleman Rusty.
Yeah,
and he passed away. Due to some cardiac factors and stuff like that. And when I tell this story to our students, I try to tell it from the perspective, and this is an interesting take, but I was absolutely ready to do CPR until I turned around and John Willis was there, right? So like we talk about it in terms of ego and in terms of being willing to be immediately demoted and or immediately promoted, depending on what the situation and circumstances dictate of you. And you guys won and lost and won again on him. And what I would say is like watching multiple separate organizations come together and manage an emergency like that, ours included. Like from the outside, like a high five in that moment is downright inappropriate and just like out of character and uncalled for. But looking back on it, if you think about it, numerous people's egos could have gotten involved in that, and people could have argued over what to do next. And there was definitely a lack of there was some folks who weren't as ready as they should have been and stuff like that. But for the most part, a room full of professionals did really professional things. And
yeah, the people who needed to be hands-on were the people who were hands-on.
Correct.
100%.
Correct. Like,
and then, again, hindsight being 2020, there are always things that you wish that you could have done, wish that could have done better. Nothing on the guys who were hands-on, maybe a little bit more on the people who were, on the outskirts of that as far as what they were vocalizing and how they were vocalizing. But, over and again, and, I was very close to that entire situation, even after the initial event. And, it was tough. The immediately after how everything went down, it was tough. But I don't know about high fives, but man, there were some hugs.
Fucking A.
100%. I mean,
and then
a lot of thank yous.
And then y'all amazingly, against my encouragement, to the point where I was like going to Tiffany being like, shut them down. Don't have them teach tomorrow. This is ridiculous. Don't expect them to fucking get up there and, do whatever. And instead, y'all just like absolutely memorialized your boy by fucking killing it and teaching anyway and moving on through the pain in a way that I'll be frank, I'm not sure I could have. But what I kind of tell our folks around here is I was both really proud of a lot of the people around me, and then like subsequently sort of amazed that I had to holler at people who were at a professional firearms training conference to get the fuck out of the way. Like it's sort of a 50-50 split, right? Like you're sort of amazed what people do in a moment. Nobody's a bad human. It's just like if the response that we saw in that group was better than average, and I believe it was, honestly, then that shit happens in the lobby of that hotel at a fucking, I don't know, computer conference. No offense, dudes. I'm just thinking of what the next conference would have been.
I mean, they'd probably be pretty taken care of at a networking conference, but
fine. I don't know.
Computers, a furry conference or whatever. Like we get what you're trying to throw down.
Cosmetics, right? Let's say there's a cosmetics conference in town. It's not responded to nearly as well. I mean, things like asking the hotel where the AED is
There's
Yeah.
there's so many that day there were a lot of important lessons, and I gotta a few of us have talked about this day in great detail because the parties involved were Greg Ellifritz, Sherman House, Troy Miller, and myself. And then Scotty Cronin retrieved the AED from my vehicle. And retrieved he made multiple trips to my vehicle because there was no equipment available on site. So Scotty made multiple trips to my vehicle to retrieve equipment. So Scotty made some trips to my vehicle to supply us with equipment that I had brought. But Sherman, Greg, Troy, and myself worked rusty. Greg wrote an article a week later. I had written an article almost a year before about the private ownership of AEDs. And Frank, TJ and Kent, that I am a huge proponent of the private ownership of AEDs.
You're the reason why I have an AED in my house. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I have, because I've used this example to shed light on that and make this an educational point. I've also used this. I changed real world trauma after this event, and created an aggressive CPR block because of the compression delivery that Greg and I initiated compressions. I passed off to Greg. I went to airway. Greg worked compressions until we got a ROSC, ROSC, return of spontaneous circulation. It eventually did not go our way, but Greg on compressions after myself. I dropped an airway. We did get a return of circulation, but I used this to change real world trauma to include CPR. And people, when I say we're going to do some CPR in real world trauma, they're like, "Oh fuck, this is bullshit." But when I say this is aggressive CPR and I tell the story of why we're doing it, people change their attitude and people understand exactly why we're doing it. And when I make them do several iterations of cycles, and I make them do 2, maybe 3 2-minute cycles of CPR instead of the 10-second bullshit they probably did in a CPR class that was mandated by their employer that has 0 real CPR. That's what changed that in real world trauma. So yes, CPR is included in real world trauma, but it's freaking real CPR. And it teaches you what are the realities of CPR and how freaking terrible it is. But if you do the shit right, you might have a positive outcome. It's not the watered down bullshit that your employer makes you do that is probably taught from someone who's never done it in their life and definitely never run a code by themselves like me, Greg, Sherman, and Troy all have. It's the real deal. And I tell it the way it really is. The cracking and breaking. All the terrible shit. Someone behind them who loves them screaming at you and horrible things that go on with it. It's the realities of it. And there's nothing much more horrible than someone or a bunch of people who freaking love the person who you're working, watching you work the person, and a room full of 200 or so people watching you do it.
I'll be real with you, John. That as incredibly tragic and sad that whole event was, I was really proud of all you guys because this was the first time that I'd really gotten, obviously I'd worked with Kent and stuff before, but getting around all of you guys and seeing the people that I call my home team, right? My tribe
Mm-hmm.
really rise to the occasion. And because like you saw a perfect example of the fight, flight, or freeze response system, right? You got the guys that jumped into the fight, knew what the hell they needed to do, applied the training and skill set that they've adopted and honed over years of experience and practice. You got the people that were running around losing their fucking mind. And you had the people that were standing there with the frozen fish face going, what the hell's happening? I will tell you, though, John, to your comments about real CPR, most of my medical experience or my trauma experience comes with patching bullet holes. That is a completely different operation than doing what I now understand to be real CPR. Even the military does not teach CPR to the level of CPR that I witnessed firsthand that day. I'll be honest with you, dude. That is a fucking wake-up call. It's a fucking wake-up call. Like, people have no idea exactly how rigorous and, to your point, violent that that operation is. And people really need to wake the hell up and understand that shit.
Yeah, yeah. It's a great point. Thank you for bringing up the word violence. I teach violence of action in CPR.
Yes.
If you're not using violence of action, you're probably doing it wrong. And it's a testimony. Like, I was talking to Laura Thorson on her podcast recently, and like for like me and Sherman and Greg and Troy, like CPR in the grand scheme of trauma or chaotic activity, emergency activity, that's like a 1 for for most of us. You're talking about bullet wounds and trauma, right? For a lot of people, that would be like a 20. For us, CPR is like a 1 on a 1 to 10 scale. I've talked to Sherman a bunch of times and Greg a bunch of times about this. Like, we were conversational. Like, we were just like, okay, you're going to do this. Okay, cool. You do this, I'll do this, blah, 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 whatever. That was just a normal day. That was just like, I mean, it was a freaking Thursday, right? Because it was Thursday. It was just a Thursday. We're just doing what we do on a Thursday. So no big deal, whatever. It just happened to be there and then, and that was what we were doing. But like bullet wounds and stuff like that, trauma, violence, car crashes, terrible shit, things blowing up, things burning down, whatever. It's about exposure. And like classes, training, this, God forbid, the freaking gun. We all train and we all think that we're stress inoculated. Everyone has this great idea that their training has stress inoculated them. Bullshit. Like, most people think, yes, agreed. Timers are a taste of stress inoculation. Yes. For normal people, timers are stress inoculation. Completely agree. For normal people, performance under time constraints in front of peers. Absolutely agree. For normal people, that is a stress inoculator in a small sense. Absolutely. When shit starts blowing up and people start dying, this is next level things that most human beings have an idea of what they're prepared for, but when it happens, have no freaking clue how they are going to function and what it's going to look like or sound like or be like. We tend to delude ourselves to what that's going to be like. Like, shit, I did until the first time something freaking blew up in front of me, and I thought, we all do, like everyone does. No one ever, like no one ever tried to shoot me technically, but like, but I mean, I'm sure that would be a totally shitty thing. No one technically tried to shoot me. But the first time I ever thought I was going to die, that's a freaking terrible, terrifying bunch of shit. it was not like I thought it was going to be the first time that was my reality. And my God, the first time you see someone else dying, or the first time you have to stop someone else from dying, it's a defining moment in your life, how you decide to conduct yourself or behave. TJ, you freaking just said how it is. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
You've been shot at. I don't know what you're I don't know that shit. I've seen people shot up, but I don't know what it's like to be shot at. You know.
Well, and what a lot of people really need to understand is they need to come to terms with how much effort they're willing to put in a situation like that. But they need to really understand themselves. You need to understand: are you that flight or freeze type of person? You need to know if, like, in some way, right? You need to try and figure that out, because you don't want to find out the kind of person you are in the moment.
The most underprepared person is a high propensity responder with low quality skills and equipment. Mm-hmm. If you're the kind of person whose morals take them into the bad situation, or your code of ethics or whatever, like, that pulls you into the problem, but you didn't bring with you the skills and equipment to solve that problem. Like, you exist in a world where, like, we can help. That's what we all do. We all sort of help that person.
Yeah, and with heavier emphasis on the skill side, right? So, sure. Like, even if you don't necessarily have the right equipment, you can make shit work in a pinch.
Sure.
You just look around.
Yeah. I just find it. I get this constantly, right? I get a 35 to 55-year-old adult human with some disposable income who comes to me, and they're like, yeah, I just figured it might be time to learn some of this stuff. And I'm like, nah, man, like, can you please be honest with me and tell me what brought you here? Because, like, you've lived these 55 years without guns and tourniquets and all this stuff. And for some reason, you're delivered at our doorstep today, right? Which tells me you've always, like, over the course of time, like, you've grown and grown and grown into this person that's like, I might want to be able to handle this shit. And in your head and in your heart, like, you're sort of led or called to being able to handle some of this shit. And I just warn people not to get caught in that gap where they're moving towards a situation that they can't really positively impact. Yeah, that's a rough place to be, right? And in the case of Rusty, every one of us that did anything at all that contributed positively to the outcome had a good positive impact there. But, like, frankly, from a statistics perspective, that was a very skewed event. That was not the average lobby of the average hotel on the average Thursday. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like on the average, if that hotel would have been full of the people it normally would have been full of, there might have been one of you instead of four of you there. There might have been, you know what I'm saying?
Hell,
you know the funny thing? Oh, go ahead. Good.
No, I was good. Like, I travel a fair, like, obviously you guys travel far more than I do, but I travel as a civilian, conferences, visiting clients, whatever have you. I would hesitate to say that there's even one person in most of the lobby, not including myself, but in most of the hotel lobbies or hotel restaurants or conference centers, convention halls. I struggle to identify that one person that has the skills, equipment to act in a situation such as right. If not me, who else? Right?
Yeah. The funny thing about it all is, think of that lobby. all of the training, all of the cumulative training in a lobby such as that, and any number of people could do the same thing in that lobby. It doesn't. It's not me or Greg or Sherman or Troy. Any number of people could do the same thing. That's irrelevant. Think of the time on task spent honing skill sets comparatively for the statistical probability. If you ask someone what is the compression rate, the standard compression rate for effective CPR on command, we talk about cold skills, skills on demand, however you want to phrase it. I know, Kent, you say there's no such thing as cold skills because you're never cold. Like, we should never be cold. You should always be, right? Let's say skills on demand. Let's call it skills on demand. If we walked up to any person in any environment such as that, and we called out skills on demand and said, what's the compression rate per minute of effective CPR? Would everyone immediately say 100 to 120 compressions per minute? Would everyone say, if we're going to administer ventilations, it's going to be 30 compressions to 2 ventilations? Would everyone say that? As compared to how quickly someone could recite their draw to first shot or this standard of performance with a pistol, rifle, or shotgun. When we're talking about probability of actual freaking emergencies that affect the real loss of life on a day-to-day basis, or the true probability of loss of life or saving of life. Going back to my point, if you don't know that shit, your shit is broke. If you can't on command answer the 2 questions that I just posed, your shit's broke. I love that people are ready for this. I love that. I want that. I want people to train that. All of that is moot if we can't do freaking effective CPR on someone at church every Sunday, at a freaking movie theater, at a freaking show, at a concert, at a comedy show, wherever you might be, man. If you can't,
on the side of the road,
wherever, man,
yeah.
At a freaking hotel lobby. If you can't do that shit, I don't care what you can do with a freaking pistol. I could give 2 shits. I don't care what you freaking carry. I don't care about your staccato. I don't care about your draw to first shot. I could give 2 shits. If you can't do good CPR, then you're freaking worthless.
Tell me how you really feel.
I think I just did.
I couldn't give you the numbers, but I always remember the keep up with the syllables and staying alive by the Bee Gees.
You are there, dude. If you say that and nothing else, you're a freaking hero. And, smash that shit.
Yeah.
I know you're a beefcake.
You don't have to tell TJ to smash nothing. That motherfucker.
TJ, you're a freaking beefcake, dude. If all my freaking ginger brother TJ remembers is staying alive and smash that shit, then you're good to go. That's all you got to remember, dude.
Mongo,
you guys want to? Hey, you guys want to hear something? You guys want to as Greg Elfritz and I like to say, you want to throat stomp some sacred cows?
Sure.
Yeah.
You want to offend some people?
Wouldn't be the Sling'N Lead podcast if we didn't.
I was gonna say.
Okay. I'm gonna help you offend some people. Okay. So this is a cat tourniquet, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what is the last step in the administration of a cat tourniquet?
Well, cats have 9 lives. Dogs only have 1.
What's the last thing you do when you administer or when you apply a cat tourniquet?
Write the time on the tab or on the forehead.
Oh, I know where we're going. The tab, the little tab doesn't matter. Yeah, I know where we're going. Yeah, man. Yeah.
What do you notice about all my cats.
Yeah. Yep, this is true. It's been removed. A monkey with a fucking pocket knife did mine.
You sure you didn't pull out? Hold on. You sure you didn't pull out the chop saw for that one too, Kent?
So,
Shut up.
as we all know, your buddy John has textural issues, and he hates being touched by Velcro. So
That's why all your patches are on the wall.
Yeah, that's why all this is going on. So when I flat pack a cat tourniquet, as you see, there is 0 exposed Velcro. If I were to leave it like this is the part of a cat tourniquet that every cop in America still has, like, collecting lint and abrading his arm and all this bullshit. Yep. If you do this, 0 exposed Velcro. Do we give a shit if that is there? And if you think we do, why do we care? Do any of you care about this?
Yeah.
In all honesty, until I got out of the military, not a single one of the tourniquets we had something like that.
So, TJ, you saw cat tourniquets applied in real context, right?
We didn't have, so the cats came out after I had left the military, but
okay.
we did have a similar. To your point though, I have seen them applied.
Okay,
we had something similar, but that little Velcro thing wasn't there.
Right.
So all we cared about, there was a little. It was Jesus. I can't even remember. Maybe it was a soft tee that had the metal triangle thing on top of it. You tuck the windlass into that thing.
It's
right?
So that's soft tee.
Hold on. I got a fun one for you, John. I was in the military when they were experimenting with fucking ratchet straps as tourniquets.
Yeah, that is a man, you're dating yourself. So anyone who's applied a cat tourniquet to themselves, and the whole point is that if you've applied this in the austere environment and you're dragging someone over some crazy ass environment, domestically speaking, if you apply a cat tourniquet tightly enough, are we concerned about this cat tourniquet windlass coming out of the freaking clip?
Nope.
What are we doing in the domestic non-combatant context that the windlass would come out of either of these two clips if appropriately tightened? Like, who gives two shits about that strap? So people don't like that I say that. I don't really care. So another thing people hate that I say, if you don't want to do this, but you choose to do this, I don't give two shits. Because if in the emergency environment, that is the biggest problem you have, then you're probably not getting it out of your pouch or whatever anyway. So people regurgitate a lot of absolutes about tourniquets and about trauma kit and about all this stuff. Just have the shit with you. Like, stop regurgitating someone's dogma, someone's doctrine. Like, find little nuggets of information that might help you have the shit on your person and go with it, man. Like, don't be so fixated on someone's rules about how you carry it. Like, however you might do it, the important thing is just having it. Don't do this bullshit. Like, don't have it still in the cellophane. Get it out of this. Otherwise, don't get fixated on someone else telling you're going to get killed in the streets for some shit like this or doing whatever. Like, stop. Like, people just need to stop with their bullshit about telling people they're going to die for whatever.
And anyone who's actually handled one of those tourniquets knows that Velcro isn't holding fuck all.
It's not doing anything.
It's not.
Yeah. And, you know, I didn't like I didn't like the Snake Staff Gen 1, right? I told Ben Griffith. Ben's a great dude. He invented this shit. I told him it was a piece of shit, right? I told the world it was a piece of shit. I told Ben Griffith it was a piece of shit. I reached out to Ben and I said, this is a quality piece of kit, and I want to talk to you about it. He and I have talked at great length about this tourniquet. This is a good tourniquet. This Snake Staff Gen 2 wide is a quality tourniquet, and there's a lot of people out there talking shit about it. It's a good tourniquet. I like it a lot. So
why would I carry that over a cat?
This over a cat?
Yeah.
I don't.
I'm just asking, like, what's the sales pitch, or what's the reason, or what's the?
I'm not
different.
Okay, here's my use potential of a Snake Staff as compared to a cat. I personally I won't like an ankle kit. I like the form factor in an ankle kit. If you gave me both, I would not pick this tourniquet over a cat, right? Because of how small I can make a cat tourniquet. In an ankle kit, how small it can be in an ankle kit.
So the snake staff is physically smaller. John, I'm not playing along for the home game. I've never touched one of these things. Thank you.
So
thanks. There you go.
Yeah.
Way smaller.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
But similar in thickness.
Yeah, similar thickness, but about 2 inches shorter.
About 1.5. About 1.5 inches shorter.
Yeah, so
same
about 7
thickness.
inches.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So here they are side by side. The windlass, the new windlass is good. Here they are exactly side by side.
Okay, so that's why. It's considerably shorter.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
let me put a ruler up by them so you can see.
And if you're listening to this on audio only, come over to the YouTube channel and watch the damn show, guys.
While it's still here, because they're trying to throw us the fuck out, but whatever.
1 inch shorter. 1 inch shorter if flat packed by me. So my flat pack is 1 inch shorter than the Snake Staff. But this is a quality piece of kit.
Is the same.
Yeah, thickness, the width is the same, thickness is identical, everything else being the same. So what I want people to do, I'm not saying it's better. I don't like touching the Velcro on the outside. It's an increased level of friction in drawing it out. But look at this. Let's look at this since we're talking about it. We got to talk about carrying kit since that's our theme. Carried inside the waistband. Hold it to the side, Frank. So there you go.
Yeah.
So that's two terrific options to carry inside the waistband. Very good tourniquets. You want me to blow more people's minds? I like the Snake Staff Wide Gen 2 better than the Soft T. People are going to burn me at the stake for that shit. But I just find it to be a better I find it to wind up better, so on. I just like it.
Well, no matter how good it is, if you don't want to carry it, you don't, and it ain't no good to nobody anyway.
I thought a lot about that after I shit on Ben's tourniquet.
Mm-hmm.
I thought a lot about that, and I thought, if someone carries a tourniquet, even if it's a bad one, is that really a bad thing? Is a bad tourniquet worse than no tourniquet? Like, how much of a right fighter do I have to be? If someone carries that 1 inch wide thing that I think sucks, like, do I really need to beat the drum so much to try to get them to carry a different tourniquet? Like, why do I need to try to be the freaking right guy all the time?
Let me chime in there and maybe even play devil's advocate, because you and I actually had a pretty lengthy conversation about this a couple of years ago. I'm in the camp of, if you're carrying the incorrect gear, like a poorly designed tourniquet or a bad tourniquet, we'll even say, like the rats or something like that, right? Just piece of shit garbage.
Yeah.
If it is giving you, as the user, a false sense of capability that you're not able to deliver, I think you're endangering yourself and endangering the others you're attempting to render aid to.
High propensity responder with low propensity equipment. That's what I'm talking
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. I would agree with that.
So I'd be in the camp of, I think if you're going to be carrying subpar equipment, I think you need to have an honest conversation of why you're choosing. Is it a budget thing? Is it there's this one gentleman that we used to train all the time, and the dude had money, but he just loved finding crap on Temu and Amazon and just making it work, right? And that was his thing, like, oh, but I could just do this and do this and do this, and it just works. And I'm not necessarily talking about med gear, but I'm talking about just gun gear, whatever it was.
Yeah. Are we talking about the fella whose Korean magazines I threw over your berm?
Yeah, yes. So with that, he was constantly trying to find these things that work, and it's like, dude, like you're wasting so much time, money, and effort on these.
You're just being a contrarian.
Shit. Yeah. Then versus just buy once, cry once, good gear, learn how to use good gear, and move on.
Yeah.
But in all seriousness, like, it would be of major concern to me if, let's just say somebody who has proper training is not necessarily going to carry that type of gear anyway, but let's just say, for sake of argument, they could make it work if they knew what they're looking for, if they knew what they were trying to do. Does that make sense? But they would be fighting themselves the entire time if they just had a better tool.
Fucking Rodney and his Korean KCI magazines. And I go, Rodney, let me see one of them magazines. And he reaches down and he pops the one out of his gun that's like on his belt. and he hands it to me. And I hoof-doof it over the berm, trying to be all like cool tactical gun instructor guy. Be like, get that shit out of here. And he goes, hey, man. I'm like, what? He goes, that had gold dots in it. I'm like, what the fuck kind of contradiction is gold dots in a Korean KCI mag? That shit had fucking pool ammo in it. And now I got to climb over the berm and go find your bullshit. And then I just pause and I go, Justin, go find his bullshit. And Justin's like,
you felt bad.
Worst person. Yeah, I felt terrible.
That's funny. No, there's a fine line for all that. Like, if someone comes to me with a rats, I'll just be like, you need to shut your ass up. You're being stupid. I had to really look inside myself about what Ben had produced, the snake staff stuff, and check myself about what they were trying to do and about their progress when the Gen 2s came out, things like that. And I had to own that shit and reach out to Ben and say, listen, dude, I know I came at you really hard with the Gen 1s and talking shit about your stuff, but I want you to know I see your progress and I want to give credit where credit is due. The snake staff was never that. So I wanted to take ownership of the fact that their stuff was always better than that. Their shit was always their shit was always in a way to save a life. And Ben and his vision was always in the sincerest effort to affect a positive outcome. And I had to like check my ass and say, yeah, I shit on the product, but I better own it and freaking reach out to him and say, you're doing good work, and be a freaking man and say, this dude is doing good shit. That's what I had to do with Ben and with Snake Staff and where they are now, because where they are now isn't where they were. And even where they were is better than where most people were. And Committee on TCCC may never freaking reconvene again and endorse it and recommend a tourniquet ever. So the Snake Staff may never be a recommended TCCC tourniquet ever. But that as a validation tool may never be a thing again anyway. So you gotta look at the shit, validate it for yourself, and do the assessment.
I think as I've grown in maturity and experience, it's really important to kind of value the people behind the products and the training and the gear as well. And I don't know this guy from Adam. I have no idea, right? I don't know the gentleman of whom you're talking right now, but as we come up in this business and get around different stuff, you can immediately sort of tell when somebody's heart is in the right place, like when they're trying to put out good stuff and they have the best of intentions, and their products and their ideologies are sound, and maybe just their execution's a little off. And I'm really, really, really glad that people gave me that grace when I was new at this. Because if you'd have went to my first 20 fucking classes or 20 private lessons and been like, hey, who is this dude? And you'd have judged me off of those as opposed to the last couple, 15 years. It'd be way different, right? So, good on you. Good on you for being able to swallow some of that. But also just, I would say to folks, like, if you're listening to this, 80 to 90% of the people in this game are out there to try to put good stuff and good information in good people's hands and make the world a better place. And the other 10 are the goddamn scum of the earth. like the other 10% of those people, like, if you're in an industry about saving people's lives and you're knowingly peddling some bullshit, you are the world's worst goddamn human. You're the worst person you could possibly fucking be. Go sell fucking used Hyundais or something. Get the fuck out of the space. Like, you're the wrong guy. Frank Horvath has fucking 117 used cars that are still in North Carolina and needs help selling. Fucking, he'll give you some khakis and $40,000 a year. Go sell his cars. Get the fuck out of here. Like, stop. What? So if you're getting that vibe from a gun instructor, from a medical instructor, from a company, from a whatever, it's probably because you've like tasted that before in your own personal life. And man, oh man, oh man, run from that. Whoever that is.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. I'll tell you, like, you don't know Ben yet. Ben gets around. That dude, he's a master class PCC shooter. Actually, he invented the Flux Raider.
That guy.
Yeah.
Okay. See,
I wrote an article about his and my kind of progress in our relationship. For me, acknowledging when you're wrong about something and transcending that, trying to make, like in this community, in this industry, like acknowledging when you have had preconceived notions about something and trying to make right on that. I wrote an article about it, and I tried to get some pictures, but I can't get a picture of freaking Ben Griffith with his shirt on. Like, this dude shoots every freaking PCC thing he does, wins every contest he enters, but he's never wearing a shirt. So I can't freaking do it.
He's the Bert Kreischer of USPSA PCC. He's a ripped Bert Kreischer. So I mean, you could have started with that. I've seen his nipples. I would have immediately been like, yeah, I know that guy.
Yeah, look him up. Like, freaking Ben. What are you gonna do? So
Frank,
yeah,
I'm with you, buddy.
Ben did the Flux Raider and the ETQ. So no, great dude, but yeah, like, you know, we got to look at people, their intent, and what they do, you know, and we should all be so focused. We should try to make this community, make our communities that we are in better than what we found them, however that may be, through our professional efforts, through our personal efforts, and just keep trying to do that. You know, that should be our goal. Yeah, that's what's
honestly,
up.
Dude. That's a pretty good way to put a cap on this. I don't imagine us saying anything smarter than that. Especially for the rest of the night. I really enjoy your particular enthusiasm for your topic. I will say that, like, you're as preacher in a pulpit passionate as you could possibly be on a subject without, like, and I have a threshold for, like, I get to a point with somebody where I'm like, all right, we fucking get it. I've got a little of that in me too, and you never trigger that reflex in me for whatever reason. Like, so I think that's a unique quality you have for sure, John. Frank and I were bullshitting today, and we decided to surprise you with him. He didn't hack you at all. This was sort of a planned event. I didn't even tell TJ. TJ's over there, like, I produced the show. Nobody tells, motherfucker, don't tell me nothing.
It ain't new, dude. We're 158 episodes into this.
Yeah, I've been on one or two of them, so
yeah, 1 or 72
spontaneously.
Yeah.
I was glad it was Frank and not some random asshole. It's a known asshole.
Yeah.
So why don't we move to wrap up here, John? Besides coming back to Pennsylvania here in the not too far future, guys, John and I kicked around an idea that we're going to call, like, I don't know, real world defense or something, where we're going to teach a 1-day med class and a 1-day pistol class at some point. We still have to do that. Y'all would really, really appreciate that. When I say we're going to teach a med class, I mean he's going to teach a med class. And when I say we're going to teach a pistol class, I mean he and I are going to teach a pistol class. So there's that. But that sounds like fun.
It does.
Other than that, when are you when and where and how and who the beep boops and the WWWs and all that?
Beep boops, trainwithwillis.com. Beep boops. Frank will tell you it's the gun set. Frank, go with gun set.
Gunset.us. We have some courses that are up on the schedule currently.
Yeah.
We're going to be publishing a lot more soon.
Yeah.
And then go get your merch, because we've got a lot of really cool things that we're pushing out on the regular.
Then I have a couple great shotgun classes this year, some new curriculum. I got a ton of classes at TDI this year. Real world trauma. We will have real world trauma at Frank, I think the first one's in April.
April 25th at Xenia.
April 25th at Xenia. I am doing shotgun essentials May 23rd in Michigan. I'm doing real world trauma June 10th in Homer, Alaska. I'm doing
holy fucking what?
What?
Oh, yeah.
Homer, Alaska?
AK,
son. What, boy? Homer, Alaska, really... June 10th. Got some. Full spectrum shotgun with Zach Cox and Adam Roth, Pittsburgh, PA, June 23. Holler at your boys. Zach Cox, Adam Roth, Jonathan Willis, Pittsburgh, PA.
Coming to everything he knows.
Coming to PA with my boys Zach and Adam.
How hard is it to actually run a shotgun anyway? It's just,
leave it to Zach to schedule a fucking shotgun class with me 10 minutes outside of Pittsburgh, and like 3 weeks later, schedule one with you motherfuckers. Also in Pittsburgh. Great fucking planning.
Zach and Adam and I will be full spectrum shotgun at Meade Hall in October as well. So a bunch of stuff going on, man. We'll be doing lots of shit. And me, Chris Timmerman, Rob Hott, Matt Hott, Ashton Ray, Tim Chandler, Zach Cox, and Adam Roth, Tactical Defense Institute, August 1st, August 2nd, all going to be dropped soon. The Shotgun Jamboree, Tactical Defense Institute, August 1, August 2, the premier shotgun event of the Eastern United States, getting dropped soon.
You're getting to be like a fucking WWF promoter. You're doing a really good job at this.
Holler at your boy.
I'm going to start paying you to scream my shit on the internet.
So let me do a little attestation there for a minute. So there was so I've taken over the Gunsight website, so I'm doing all their booping for that.
Do they know you took it over, or did you just take it over?
No, I forcibly took it over at first.
He's making it be a thing, yeah.
Yeah, and now they're just kind of letting me do whatever I want now. But anyway, so if you would ask me that same question 6 months ago, it was absolutely forcibly. But anyway, so John goes, "Hey, I want to release a class, and this is here's the information about the class and all that. I want to go ahead and put it through the Gunsight website." I was like, "Cool, man. Yeah, no problem." He goes, "But I want to before we make it live, I want a private link. I want to hand it out to just a couple of people, see if they'd be interested in getting it before it's released to the general public." I was like, "Yeah, man, sure, no problem. Here's a link." Freaking 24 hours later, the class is completely sold out. I'm like, "John, what the hell? Like, why are we even talking about making it public? Like, what's going on with this?" And it's been like that, like class after class after class. So yeah, John's got the gift of selling people on classes for sure.
That's what, May 10? May 2nd.
May 2nd,
That's our May 2nd shotgun drills and skills class. That's a new thing I developed with help from my friend Greg Ellifritz. That is a shotgun drills and skills invitational. That's a all drills skills assessment, just the best drills that I've curated from all the top shotgun instructors from across the country.
It doesn't matter. I mean, nobody can sign up for the class anyway. But
what is it with all the medical guys that just have a penchant for wanting to blow the biggest holes in people?
I then fix them. Yeah. I can fix shit. But no, that class is going to be the bomb. After this is the pilot offering on May 2nd. I think that's going to be a hitter. So Greg Ellifritz did an amazing block at Thunderstick that really inspired me. So I talked to Greg about it, and he really gave his blessing for me to move forward with doing this class that this based on his vision. And so I'm basically talking to all of my best friends across the country, all the top shotgun instructors, and saying, I'm pulling all the best, what they feel are the best and most important shotgun drills or shotgun quals across the spectrum and doing a class based on it. So it's going to be badass. And so it's sold out. So, but then we're going to do it again.
Run it back. Holla at your boy.
Hell yeah, boy. Frank sold it out for me. Frank sold it out. He's magic. He's a magic man.
He's a magic man. You just put him on that corner with his special cargo pants.
Yeah, he did.
Top dollar. So,
wow.
How'd that do that?
I was about to say, what happened there? What was that?
Yeah. So he's got the gestures turned on.
How did that happen?
It's a gesture feature in your camera settings.
That ain't the straightest thing I've ever seen.
That is crazy.
That ain't the straightest shit I've ever seen. I'm gonna tell you right now. Oh, I can't.
It gets really disruptive.
Terrible.
So we had to disable those features in our corporate computer because you'd be on a Teams meeting with people and you'd be like, "Yeah, man, I got it," and it would be like you put a thumbs up and it's a bunch of balloons. You do like the rock fist thing and you get a bunch of laser shows that go. It depends on it. It's not available in every application, but clearly the heart explosion is something that StreamYard offers.
Willis is like a monkey learning sign language over there.
I want some other gestures to make other things.
I know a guy.
Yeah, I'm sure you do, Frank.
That's crazy. Does the Korean heart thing do it?
Nah, I don't think so.
What the fuck is the Korean?
I think it's
if
only
you go like this,
American
that's
stuff.
Korean heart.
He spends a lot of time in Thailand, so
I'm going to Thailand on February 14th.
I
Is
know.
that on the training calendar too?
Nope, that's
a secret
trip.
Secret trip. So I'll be in Thailand. I'll be in Thailand the last 2 weeks of February.
You can't miss him. He'll be the giant motherfucker walking through the crowd of short people.
I'll be the biggest man in Thailand. Other than my son. Other than my second-born son.
Great.
Oh,
Kent, what you got going on, buddy?
No, I'm not promoting any fucking gun classes. I'm not going to sit here and scream them for the next 20 minutes. GreenMountainDefense.com/training. Come find me. You know where it is. Private lessons are where it's at. But also many, many group classes. You know what? You two fuckers, Frank and Willis, Heron and I are doing practical performance coming up here. He's had me He's had me co-teaching the instructor class now for a while, but now he's going to be co-teaching practical performance, and that is on a day that's in March. That's known to me. Come on, Frank, do the fucking thing that you know with the
beep or the boops.
Hold on. I found it. It is March 14th and 15th.
March when?
14 and 15.
March 14 and 15.
Yeah. Everyone should come to that.
March
Look, Simon
14
knows.
and 15.
Simon's like, I'm signed up.
I just love that I'm in a cut off like tank top on your homepage of your website.
Who, mine?
Yeah, your Green Mountain Defense website. Yeah,
I know.
And I'm in a kilt too. That's a kilt. I'm in a kilt.
I know a lot of. I mean, it's
but also
it
has
hasn't been
cargo
officially stated, but like I know we haven't. I mean, it hasn't been officially said or anything like that. But Frank, why don't you elevate yourself like 3 inches? Like, just lift yourself up a little bit. More.
There you go.
Everybody sees that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's not official yet.
It's not official yet, but everyone sees what they're seeing, right? Everybody sees what they're seeing. Like,
yeah, that handsome logo on my brother in Beat Boops hoodie.
and Frank, where are you sitting right now?
In my kitchen. What are you getting at?
He's in the second place that Flight was ever created.
No.
The second.
The second place Flight was ever created.
First place. Listen, I'm in Pennsylvania. You need to get right with your heritage, dog. You're one of us.
I am in Ohio, so here is where I am to stay for the foreseeable future. So,
like forever.
My realtor buddy, who's who is quite skilled at that. He's hunting me down a home right now, the forever home.
Nice.
And Frank just made a literal buckeye. He just made an actual buckeye, so it's official.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
He bore a buckeye.
Hold on. Is it based on conception or is it based on born?
Birth.
See,
Birth.
It's based on birth, right?
It is a birthright.
Birth. That's right.
It is a birthright.
Based on birth. where she actually, graced this planet with, her life, akin to,
she's a Buckeye.
akin to flying a freaking airplane off of a sandy beach, right?
Like a Buckeye.
Yeah.
Moreover, not only just an Ohio thing, he's in the city from which it came.
I am.
Like, he's literally in the city from aviation, like from which aviation came. Not some shithole sandy plane that no one cares about. He's from the city that aviation emanated from.
One of the things I thoroughly enjoy about living up here is how much shit I can stir so easily. Like, it is effortless.
I'm going to send y'all a bunch of Penn State shirts just to piss off Scotty, and I don't even like Penn State.
Oh, do I have – Scotty doesn't listen to the podcast regularly anyway, so I can get away with this. I have so right now, Gunset, we're doing a big Save Yourself, right? So Save Yourself hoodies. Our plan's doing all 50 states. And so we're working through that. Well, Scotty, like, flat out hates Michigan. He's just like, hard no. Michigan, there's not going to be a Michigan T-shirt. The whole, Buckeye, Michigan rivalry, all that.
Yeah, because college football matters.
Yeah, and so he's like, hardcore, not going to happen. It's just we're going to have 50 or 49 states instead of 50 states, or whatever.
Fucking Puerto Rico gets one, but Michigan doesn't. Right?
Yeah.
Fiji, freaking like
Greenland will probably have. Venezuela will probably have one. Michigan will. Yeah. So.
It's the green one. It doesn't have the ice. We have the ice. I'm using the ice. The ice works great.
So I'm probably going to release one of those hoodies very soon for Michigan.
Oh, great.
Just not tell
them. Do it. No balls. Yep. Now you have to.
I'm going to. Like I said, he may not appreciate it, but what's he going to do? Fire me?
Yeah. I can't. Well, I'm telling you guys right now, the minute Frank is on the gun training job market again, I'm getting his ass. You're going to be like the Brett Favre of gun training, and I'll be the Jets. I'm over here like, come on over, Daddy. Let's go.
Never. He ain't going nowhere. He's found the promised land, and he's there. He's free here forever.
I will trade you guys. I'll trade you guys a Justin for a Frank right now.
Tack on is in 2 months.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm thinking everyone needs to go out and just get a Michigan T-shirt.
Oh, that would be fantastic.
And wear them to Scotty's vlog that I signed up for.
Scotty would have it. Oh, yeah.
He would lose his freaking mind. He will lose his shit. Yeah, he'll lose his mind.
I thought it was funny until I came up here and I was
going to be when I convince. The fun part's going to be when I convince one of you guys to steal all of his T-shirts that he brings with him to tack on and replace them with Michigan memorabilia.
Oh, he'll lose his shit.
He'll
get literally violent. He will get violent over that.
I can only get so erect, Frank. Stop.
He stopped talking to Dan Kushner for like a freaking year because Dan was talking shit about the Ohio State Michigan game and like these two like it was like hard stop. Freaking Dan is a diehard Michigan fan, and these two stopped talking. Like they just hard stop. Freaking end of comms. Done. They're good now, of course, but these two stopped talking for like a freaking year because of Ohio State, Michigan.
Should I go on my 20-minute rant about how like sports ball and all that stuff, or can we get out of here without that? If you're saying we and you're not wearing pads, stop it. There's no we. You're not in the press box. You're not in the office. Yeah. You don't fucking stop saying we. Say they.
That's a fair statement.
Stop it. Anyway.
All right.
God, I love you guys. I fucking miss this shit. We gotta do this like 10 times a week.
TJ's probably like, shut the. Yeah.
I'm getting ready for snowpocalypse, guys. I have to go buy. I have to go panic buy milk and bread.
You mean ice apocalypse?
Yeah, we're actually gonna get a mix. It looks like.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I forgot to tell you, I'm at Apache next week for a sold out Real World Trauma. I have to drive through that hellscape of ice and snow to get to there. It's going to be crazy shit.
Yeah, but next week it should be cleared up by then.
Should be.
It's North Carolina.
North Carolina, Tennessee will be fine.
Yeah,
just swing on by, John. We got you here.
All right.
So,
wherever
Frank,
John stops is where the class is happening.
Yeah. I'll go somewhere and teach.
I swear to God, let me close this out.
I'm just trying to piss you off now. It's so great. Frank, say something.
Frank,
What?
it is a pleasant surprise to have you join us. I'm so glad you could make it, brother. I hope you guys are well. Miss you and the family. My best to all of them. John, love you as the day is long. Thank you so much for coming on to the podcast and educating us on carrying trauma gear. Kent, thank you for not interrupting this closeout. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all the time we have for this week. Until we see each other again, God bless you. Take care of each other. Get out and shoot. Fuck you, Kent.